How can a family trust protect an inheritance from being divided in a divorce? Have you ever wondered how a family trust can safeguard an inheritance during a divorce? It's a question that many people face when navigating the complexities of relationship issues and financial matters. Let's break it down in a straightforward way. A family trust is a legal setup where assets are held by a trustee for the benefit of specific individuals. This arrangement can be particularly useful for managing and protecting inherited wealth. When a divorce occurs, a family trust can help keep inherited assets separate from marital property, but there are some important factors to consider. First, a trust is its own legal entity. This means that the assets within the trust are owned by the trust itself, not by the beneficiaries or their spouses. Because of this separation, it can help keep those assets distinct from what is considered marital property. The trust deed is the document that establishes the trust. It outlines how the assets are managed and who controls them. This document plays a key role in determining how much protection the trust provides during a divorce. If a trust was set up before the marriage and is clearly meant to benefit one spouse or their children, courts often respect this separation. If the inherited assets have been kept separate from marital funds, they are less likely to be divided during divorce proceedings. Another important aspect is how trust assets are used. If these assets have not been mixed with marital finances or used to support the family, they are more likely to remain as protected. The trustee controls distributions, which can help maintain this protection by limiting the beneficiary spouse's access to trust assets. Some trusts even include rules that prevent a spouse from accessing trust assets directly. This can further safeguard the inheritance from being divided in a divorce. However, it is essential to understand that courts have broad discretion in divorce cases. They may look at the trust deed, the history of distributions, and how trust assets have been integrated into family finances. If trust assets have been used to benefit the family, courts may consider them when dividing assets. In some situations, courts can make changes to the trust or transfer its assets to the other spouse to ensure a fair division. Trusts created during the marriage or funded with marital assets are more likely to be treated as marital property. To effectively protect an inheritance, establishing a family trust before marriage is a smart move. It is vital to have clear terms that specify the purpose of the trust and the beneficiaries. Keeping trust assets separate from marital finances and avoiding their use for family expenses strengthens this protection. Choosing independent trustees who control distributions rather than the beneficiary spouse can also reduce the risk of trust assets being viewed as marital property. After a divorce, reviewing and possibly updating the trust terms to remove a former spouse as a beneficiary can be an important step in managing the trust. In summary, a family trust can provide a layer of protection for an inheritance during a divorce by legally separating those assets from the marital estate. However, careful planning and legal advice are essential to ensure that the trust is structured and maintained properly.